This first ordinary session of the Community Parliament is dedicated to the unity of member states addressing the regional problems of terrorism, trafficking, and climate change. Speaker Ecowas Parliament Maimunatu Ibrahim says the sixth legislature will ensure that Ecowas is united and be more robust to overcome the multifaceted challenges facing the region.
Conformément à l'article 73 du règlement intérieur qui prévoit qu'un registre de présence est mis à la disposition des députés à l'entrée de la salle des séances et le secrétaire général informe le président du Parlement lorsque le quorum est atteint.
In attendance in the hall, we are 45 of us in attendance. It's going to be consideration and adoption of the report and the consideration and adoption of the joint and ad hoc community programs and consideration adoption of the draft report of the second extraordinary session of May 2024. Swearing in of new members of parliament. During our extraordinary session held in May, some members of parliament were not able to be sworn in. If these members of parliament are in the hall, I would like to urge them to come forward for them to carry out this formality. To this end, I would like to ask the Secretary General to help them carry out this task.
Benjamin Okeze Carlo, representative of the Community Parliament, declare on my honor that I will faithfully serve the interests of the peoples of the community and that I will not submit to any direct or indirect pressure from any member state or group. So help me God.
Merci.
On behalf of the Ecowas Parliament, I'd like to say congratulations for coming on board as a member of the Ecowas Parliament. I do hope that the Parliament will take advantage of your wealth of experience in the course of your long administrative and political career. I also hope that you will be fully involved in parliamentary work for the betterment of the people in our region. I'd like you to really join the various standing committees of Parliament and to really carry out your work in line with the oath of office you have just taken. Honorable members of Parliament, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me at this juncture to deliver my official address at the opening of this session. Your Excellency Jibril Baron, the First Deputy Speaker representing the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency Benjamin Kalu, representing the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency Dr. Omar Aliu Toure, President of the Ecowas Commission, Honorable Justice Edward Amwako Asante, President of the Ecowas Court of Justice, Honorable Yaovi Misiame Ameyon Ajorovi, Minister for Human Resources, Citizenship Education, and Relations with the Institutions of the Togolese Republic. Distinguished Joa Alange Mamadou Fadia, Auditor General of Ecowas institutions. Honorable Mrs. Abura Bonfo, President of the Assal Foundation in Togo, Your Excellencies, ambassadors and representatives of international organizations accredited to the Federal Republic of Nigeria and ECOWAS, Honorable ECOWAS commissioners, honorable members of Parliament, distinguished guests. As we begin this 2024 ordinary session of our Community Parliament, I have the opportunity on this occasion, first and foremost, to give thanks to the Almighty God, creator and originator of all things. To say the least, this session is taking place in a difficult international, as we have barely emerged from pandemics and epidemics. Although not fully, we are still grappling with a number of scourges and challenges such as poverty, climate change, the Russian-Ukrainian crisis, and the conflict in the Middle East, just to name but a few. Unfortunately, these problems are compounded by another phenomenon of staggering proportions in our region, namely the upsurge in the threat of terrorism, violent extremism, and organized crime, which is costing the lives of our valiant security and defense forces, as well as thousands of innocent people. This asymmetrical threat weighs heavily on our conscience as Africans, and I would like us to begin this ceremony by observing a minute of silence in memory of all the victims of this senseless violence. Please let us pay tribute to them. Thank you. Honorable members, dear colleagues, distinguished guests, I agree that undoubtedly this wasn't the best way to welcome you. But as the saying goes, what cannot be cured is said, must be endured. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you to the chamber of the prestigious National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Temple of Nigerian Democracy, that is the National Assembly of the host country, has kindly made available to us as a temporary venue for our session due to the ongoing renovation of the building of the seat of the ECOWAS Parliament. Distinguished guests, at this juncture, allow me to express my deepest gratitude to His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Governments of ECOWAS, for the invaluable support he has always provided to the ECOWAS Parliament in the fulfillment of his mandate. Dear colleagues, I would also like to avail myself of this opportunity to fulfill the important duty of expressing our deepest gratitude to the first Deputy Speaker, Honorable Senator Jibrin Barrow, who left no stone unturned to make the facilities of this National Assembly available to us in order to organize and host this session. We have gathered here to fulfill the tradition that requires that parliamentary sessions should begin with a solemn opening. As you can imagine, I am greatly delighted and pleased to be chairing this opening ceremony for the first time since I've been elected the Speaker of this august Assembly. Your Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, dear colleagues, on behalf of my fellow parliamentarians and on my own behalf, I'd like to thank you all for honoring this ceremony with your presence. Your invaluable presence in our midst demonstrates how much you hold our parliament in high esteem and your belief in the process of regional integration. Over and beyond the members of the Ecowas Parliament, it is undoubtedly all the citizens of the community who are honored by your show of consideration. Thank you very much for that. I also extend warm greetings to my colleagues who are heading other major community institutions, such as His Excellency, the President of the Ecowas Commission, the Honorable Justice of the ECOWAS Courts of Justice, the Auditor General of the ECOWAS institutions, whose presence is evidence once again of the solidarity and perfect collaboration among community institutions. My appreciation also goes to the members of the diplomatic community and the invitation from Togo, the minister, the chair of the ASAL Foundation. I say thank you as well. Also, not forgetting the diplomatic corps that have come to demonstrate their friendship and support, without forgetting the development partners, representatives of bilateral and multilateral cooperation institutions for their contribution to the development of our region. For us, the quest for peace must be a leitmotif and a challenge for the implementation of a genuine development plan, both at national and regional levels. Our peoples often express their wishes based on facts, having no doubt that they will be taken into account. We must all bear in mind that our people's rights to self-determination requires that we respect their choice, which is the expression of their deepest aspirations. It's only then that we will be able to contribute to consolidating democracy, strengthening the rule of law, and respect for human rights. Honorable members, dear colleagues, I would like to conclude my speech by thanking you from the bottom of my heart for your commitment to the responsibility for which we were elected. I have faith that we will continue working hand in hand to make ECOWAS an ECOWAS of peoples where peace, security, and prosperity prevail. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, it is with these words full of hope that I declare open the 2024 First Ordinary Session. May the Almighty God grant ECOWAS long life. Thank you. Obrigado.
Despite withdrawal by 3 countries of Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso from the bloc of democracy in the region, ECOWAS Commission President Dr. Aliou Touré and other stakeholders called for more collaboration and dialogue in the interest of the region to defend the sacred values of democracy.
We reiterate our deep gratitude and appreciation to His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, for his leadership and tireless efforts in support of our institutions and integration agenda. In the same vein, we thank the people and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for their legendary hospitality and generosity to Ecowas and Ecowas institutions. Madam Speaker, honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this legislature is not only important, it is also historic in that for the first time in its history, the ECOWAS Parliament has elected a female speaker in the person of the Right Honorable Hajja Mamunatu Ibrahim. On behalf of my colleagues and staff of the Commission, as well as on behalf of the heads of other ECOWAS institutions, I convey heartfelt congratulations to you, Madam Speaker, to members of your Bureau, and indeed the entire membership of the 6th Legislature. Madam Speaker, we at the Commission enjoy the close collaboration and cooperation of members of the ECOWAS Parliament through the numerous debates on important subjects of our integration process, including the opinions they express on the community budget and the regional policy documents. The parliamentarians, in collaboration with the Commission, undertook election assistance activities, mediating in pre- and post-election processes in our member states in order to prevent conflict. We have witnessed the peaceful transition that took place in the community since last year. More precisely, here in Nigeria, where His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged as winner of the presidential election, and in Liberia, where President Bokai won elections as opposition candidate. Similarly, in Guinea-Bissau, the opposition won parliamentary elections. Another peaceful and significant transition of power took place in the Republic of Senegal. In the same vein, we salute the people of Sierra Leone and Togo for the peaceful elections. These elections show that democracy is alive in the region. But democracy as represented by regular elections is not enough. It is just an element of good governance. Democracy must be accompanied by accountability that ensures the delivery of development, justice, and security to the people. As parliamentarians, your role in this process is fundamental. Madam Speaker, honorable members, I cite these peaceful elections as a reminder to all of us of the progress we as a community have made. But in no way can they make us ignore the challenges that confront us. Those challenges, Madam Speaker, are many and diverse.
It is my great honor and privilege to congratulate the Right Honorable Speaker and members of the ECOWAS Parliament on the occasion of the formal opening of the 2024 First Ordinary Section of the ECOWAS Parliament, taking place here in Abuja, Nigeria. I'm delighted to state that despite the myriad of challenges confronting our sub-region, the ECOWAS Parliament has remained strong, the ECOWAS Parliament has remained resolute, the ECOWAS Parliament has remained committed to promoting the ideals of democratic governance, the ideals of economic integration, the ideals of peace and security. Since its establishment by the ECOWAS Treaty in 1975, the ECOWAS Parliament has no doubt contributed immensely to strengthening representative democracy, promoting and defending human rights, democracy, the rule of law, transparency, accountability, and good governance in the sub-region. It has also been actively involved in promoting peace, in promoting security, and in promoting stability. While I feel greatly delighted to commend the Ecowas Parliament for these invaluable contributions, we must also acknowledge that these multifaceted challenges are still confronting the sub-region in new and complex dimensions. Terrorism, banditry, piracy, human trafficking, human rights abuses, the impact of climate change and bad governance have remained serious impediments to the peace, security, and economic development of our sub-region. These challenges have placed greater responsibility on the ECOWAS Parliament to continue to carry out its legislative function with increased vigor, increased passion, and increased commitment. It is my sincere hope that this section of the Parliament will produce resolutions that will impact positively and go a long way in mitigating these challenges. However, it is important to stress that any resolution reached will amount to nothing if there is no commitment and cooperation on the part of the ECOWAS member states. Let me therefore take this auspicious occasion to appeal to our leaders to commit to implementing resolutions of the Parliament for the greater good of the sub-region. The current challenges confronting our sub-region cannot be decisively addressed unless there is unity of purpose, unless there is partnership, unless there is cooperation in our decision and our actions. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, and our invited guests, let me assure you that Nigeria, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is committed to defending and promoting democratic governance, the rule of law, and human rights in our sub-region. On our part, the Nigerian Parliament is committed to supporting the President through legislative measures that will provide a robust framework for Nigerians' foreign policy, strengthening of diplomatic relations, promoting economic interests, enhancing security cooperations, and promoting regional and global peace. Let me also assure you that we shall continue to cooperate and partner with the ECOWAS Parliament in the areas of building legislative capacity, sharing of experiences, and ensuring that resolutions passed are implemented.
Your Excellency, the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Hajia Maimunatu Ibrahima, Your Excellency, the Speaker of the Nigerian Federal House of Representatives, ably represented by my brother, the Deputy Speaker, and who is also a member of this Parliament, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, Your Excellencies, the Deputy Speakers of this esteemed Parliament, my colleagues, the honorable members of this august Parliament, Your Excellency, the President of ECOWAS Commission, my Lord, the Head of Judiciary of ECOWAS Community, other Excellencies, diplomats that are here, the Honorable Minister in charge of human rights and relations with institutions, Republic of Togo, other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here on behalf of the President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Chairman of the National Assembly of Nigeria, who is supposed to be here, but for the fact that he's engaged in other duties outside these events, I will therefore read his speech as done by my friend and brother, the Deputy Speaker of House of Representatives, on behalf of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Distinguished members of the Ecowas Parliament, honorable guests, it is an immense honor and privilege to stand before you today as we commence the activities marking the 2024 first ordinary session of the Ecowas Parliament. This event was started by the meeting of the Committee of the Bureau of Parliament and the meeting of the Conference of Committees Bureau. Together, these events represent yet another significant stride in our ongoing journey towards unity, cooperation, and shared prosperity in the West African sub-region. The history of West Africa is captivating tale, woven with narratives of resilience, innovation, interconnectedness. It is a story that traverses centuries, encompassing diverse cultures, languages, and traditions. Long before the concept of national borders and the arrival of Europeans, our ancestors engaged in trade, collaboration, and the establishment of communities. They understood, as we do today, that our strength lies in togetherness. And when we join hands, no adversary can overcome us. For the ancient empires of Ghana, Oyo, Mali, and Songhai, which flourished through trade and cooperation, to the pivotal alliances forged during the fight for independence, the spirit of unity has always guided our path. This very spirit should permeate every session of the Ecowas Parliament. It should envelop us like a comforting embrace as we proudly raise the banner of Ecowas. While we are aware of the official establishment of Ecowas in 1975, it is crucial to recognize that its foundations were laid centuries before this year by our ancestors. Therefore, let us not view Ecowas solely as a political instrument, but as a cultural artifact and the enduring legacy of our history. Today, as representatives in this esteemed parliament, let us proudly uphold and carry forward this rich heritage as a badge of honor. Let us not only legislate, but also inspire and uplift our people by exemplifying the power of collaboration. Through the combined efforts of the various committees and the tireless work of the Bureau of Parliament and the Conference of Committees Bureau, we are paving the way for a future where every voice is heard and every nation thrives. Through our combined efforts, let us transform national boundaries from barriers and barricades into corridors of cooperation and collaboration. At this moment, let us extend our heartfelt gratitude to the representatives of each member nation. Your commitment and dedication to the ideas of Ecowas fuel our collective progress. You are the pillars upon which this parliament stands, a testament to the resilient spirit that defines our region, and a testament that the labors of our ancestors were not in vain. As we embark on the deliberations and discussions that lie ahead, let us remain steadfast in our optimism. The challenges we face are not insurmountable. With unity, innovation, and unwavering belief in our shared destiny, we can transform our collective aspirations into enduring achievements. In this session, let our conversations be driven by the spirit of partnership and collective ambition. Let us demonstrate that when West Africa stands united, there are no limits to what we can accomplish. Our diversity is our strength, and our unity is our power. As I look towards the future, I am filled with excitement and confidence. Together, we will continue to shape a future that reflects the dreams and aspirations of our people, a future characterized by peace, progress, and prosperity for all. Therefore, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with unwavering optimism and unyielding solidarity, I hereby join Madam Speaker Hajia Maimunatu Ibrahima to declare the 2024 ordinary session of the Ecowas Parliament officially open. Let the work commence. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
This session coincides with a period of seismic political developments in the region, which, if not appropriately managed, will have grave implications for the region and could potentially hamper our efforts at democratic consolidation, regional cohesion, and the integration of the region. These relate to the resurgence of military coups in the region and the avowed intention of some member states that have, despite our entreaties, refused to return to the community. Last year, the court sought to draw attention to this scourge by providing the platform at its 2023 International Conference in Banjul to discuss this creeping threat to the region's struggle to entrench democracy in the region. I'm aware that Parliament has engaged through their members from these countries with high-level officials of those states in order to ensure their overdue return to the Ecowas family so that we can continue our relentless march towards the development of our region by leveraging our rich human and material resources. This is a noble initiative for which Parliament should be commended and which should be sustained under this legislature until the realization of the objective that informed the decision in the spirit of solidarity and complementarity, which is at the foundation of the community. I can assure you that the court remains available to provide whatever support that is necessary in furtherance of this and other initiatives that will preoccupy the members during the 6th legislature through its standing, joint and ad hoc committees. I am hopeful that the presentation by the President of the Commission on our community work program during this session will enable members of Parliament have further insight into the region's efforts to reintegrate the affected states into the Ecowas family. As members of a community institution that is representative of the citizens, I think it is apposite to leverage this opportunity to apprise members of Parliament efforts by the court to democratize access to the court through the use of current technology. As a legacy of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, the court has introduced the electronic case management system, which enables virtual sessions with lawyers and litigants participating from the comfort of their homes and offices, thereby reducing the cost for lawyers and applicants. The ECMS is scheduled to launch in September. Ahead of the launch, the court has already conducted 3 training exercises for lawyers of the 3 language blocks in 3 member states of Togo, Ghana, and Cape Verde on the system, which has objective of improving access and making the court fairer and more egalitarian. While the court had made significant progress in improving on the human rights situation in the region, thereby helping to strengthen democracy, challenges remain on the issues of enforcement, staffing, and funding. We are hopeful that based on the cordial relations with Parliament, members of Parliament will rededicate themselves to working with the court in the resolution of these challenges for the more effective court that is responsible and continues to be a source of pride to the community. I wish you very fruitful deliberations in your sessions. Muito obrigado. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Other issues during the session were the consideration and adoption of the draft agenda and draft work program of Standing, Joint and Ad hoc Committee, as well as draft report of the extraordinary session held in Kano.
Any hands raised for suggestions or amendments? Or do you want us to read it through once again? I don't see any hands being raised. So can we consider the draft agenda as hereby adopted? So the draft agenda for that session is hereby adopted. Now let's go to the draft work program of the session. Though I'm sure everybody has a copy. Are there any suggestions, amendments, comments on the draft work program? I hope everybody has read through. So if there are no suggestions, comments, can we consider it as that's the draft work program of the session as hereby adopted? So by acclamation. Dear colleagues, now let's go to the consideration and adoption of the program of standing committees, mixed, and then ad hoc committees. This has also been circulated. So, colleagues, do you have any suggestions on the referred document or the mentioned document? Draft work program of the standing joint and ad hoc committees. Any comments on the draft work program of the standing joint and ad hoc committees? No comments, no hands raised. So no amendments. Honorable Aka, you have the floor. Secretary General, you have the floor. Yes, Honorable Abiante, the floor is yours.
The program so listed does not seem to have venue. We have been properly informed that the opening ceremony we hold here. We are not too sure of where the subsequent plenary sessions will hold and where the committee meetings would hold.
SG, can you indicate the venues for which the committees will be meeting? Distinguished Speaker, all the plenary sessions will be held here in this very room, whereas the committees, standing, etc., will be held in the Ecowas Parliament building because we have allocations there. If there are no other concerns, I don't see raised hands. So the draft work program of the standing joint and ad hoc committees is hereby adopted. So now let's carry on with the draft report of the extraordinary session 2024 held in Kano from 20 to 20, well, say 21st, 25th May. So, Secretary SG, can you give us the major outline? So, the SG, the floor is yours. For the second extraordinary session of the Parliament for 2024 is hereby submitted for appreciation of the MPs. And the major report is, in fact, the meeting was convened by the Deputy Speaker from 21st to 25th May in Kano, in Nigeria. The opening ceremony was chaired by the Deputy Speaker, and the main points of the session, that is consideration of the internal procedures, strategic plan of the Parliament, consideration and adoption of the activity plan of the Parliament for 2024, and then adoption of reports of information missions or that were sent to Togo, and then the closure was election of the president, the speaker. So first day we had the swearing in of members of Parliament, 3 of them, before the addresses were made. That is welcome address by the Speaker of the Ecowas Parliament, represented by the First Deputy. And then the welcome address by the Governor of Kano. And then message of permanent, goodwill message of the permanent representative of Nigeria to ECOWAS, formal declaration of the opening of the Right Honorable Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, and then following that, the draft agenda, work program, consideration of the report of the inaugural sessions were presented and adopted. And then the following session, the 22nd May, that was 2 MPs that took their oath of office from Nigeria, Honorable Lawan and then Ali Dele. And then following that, we looked at consideration and adoption of draft rules of procedure of the 6th legislature of the Ecowas Parliament. That draft was amended in Articles 23, 73, 104, 106, that's paragraph 23. And then the plenary considered and adoption the draft strategic plan of the Ecowas Parliament. And that led to, when in fact discussions ensued and concern raised to reflect the guidelines of the 6th legislature. Following that, consideration, adoption of the draft 2024 activities of the Ecowas Parliament.
Kano declaration. I said, let me allow him speak. So after which I can make some comment to put us through. You know, our sitting in Kano was a special sitting of the House. And the person who sponsored the motion constructed it that way. And looking at it, I don't see anything that is wrong with it. Naming it Kano Declaration. Like our colleague, Honorable Monet, do explain. We are all brothers and sisters. Looking at the atmosphere and what happened in Kano, we elected our brand new speaker there in Kano. Likewise, other things that happened there. I see no reason changing it. And I call on our colleagues to leave it as it is. It doesn't call for any amendment. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
It's just a word I'd like to express that for us to succeed in this 6th legislature, it's extremely important that we, as a parliament, release ourselves from the shackles of artificial colonial demarcations, be it Anglophone, whether you're Francophone or Portuguese, and look that of the past and look towards the future of one strong African identity and extend it to the further ECOWAS and Africa as well. Thank you very much.
Be distributed to all members of parliament. For this, I am perfectly in agreement. Normally, this is what ought to be done. So, Secretary General, please take the necessary measures so that the declaration should be circulated to all members of parliament. Let me now go to the 4th intervention, which was proposing that instead of Kano declaration, that we should talk about initiatives of Kano, I believe. Initiatives of Kano. Well, here again, I'll probably open discussions so that we know what we will be doing. But as the first Deputy Speaker said it, the Assembly is autonomous to make a declaration on a situation within our sub-region. And I believe that this is not too much for us to call it the Kano Declaration. But I am not imposing my own opinion, even though I might be in agreement. So I would want to open that for discussion too, so that others can hear their views on this. We will have a discussion on that. Honorable Pascal has given his own opinion. Will other colleagues want to also hear their views?
Like we started this morning, it has been emphasized that we are all brothers. We want to really see that we get integrated and also leverage on our diversity. So whatever we do here, let's have in mind that we always work together towards one destination. So please, which is integration and then leveraging on our diversity, as I said earlier. So if we do anything here in the plenary, in the chambers, and we agree that this is what we need to do, well, that may not be sacrosanct, and nobody has monopoly of knowledge. If anybody wants to change that thing, there are procedures to change whatever you think was done wrongly. You follow the process, and through persuasion, through sort of letting us understand what you want to do, we can change that. But let me just go to say how we came to pass the rules of procedure. When the election was held, it was agreed that the first thing to be done was to look at the rules of procedure and to get in tune with the contemporary situation we have as a body. And that was looked at, and then we said, okay, the following day we should adopt it. But it was not conclusive. We said, okay, let's leave it until the next session, the extraordinary session. Then we'll look at that. And it was brought forward, debated, and passed. So please, if anybody has anything that you feel was done, follow the normal process. We'll look at it, and we get it corrected if there's anything. But the important thing is for us to work together as brothers. Thank you very much.
Has said, these are reports. These are like minutes of what transpired in Kanu. It's not a substantive declaration we are considering. This is something that you've already agreed upon, and it has been passed. So we are just giving you formal information as to what transpired in Kanu, is to ascertain that what we are reporting is what exactly has happened in Kanu. So it's not about changing or altering anything. It's just to come. It's like minutes of, let's say, votes of proceedings in our parliament. We are just considering minutes of what has transpired in Kanu, not really a substantive bill or motion or a declaration. So it's just to confirm what is there, and at this juncture, it's not fair to say we did not put our input in the rules of procedure. This is not the right place. It's not also appropriate to proffer recommendation or amendment at this stage about the declaration. It has already been passed. Thank you very much for indulgence.
I must also thank my brother and friend, the Deputy Senate President, for all the accolades that have been had here for how you hosted our brothers from all parts of the sub-region. I've not had any wrong complaint of the job that you did in hosting them. I want to thank you for representing Nigeria well in hosting our brothers. I was not able to make it because I was presiding on that day, and I'm happy to join you today as one of you, and thank you for this inauguration. Let me commend this house and how peaceful you have been. I'm just coming from the African Union Parliament, the Pan-African Parliament. It is not as quiet and calm as this. Issues here are deliberated on in a very peaceful way, and I really want to commend this house for that brotherhood spirit in handling issues. This is the spirit for us to win as brothers and sisters in the sub-region. Coming on board to join you, we are sure that you have the strongest team from Nigeria when you have the Deputy Senate President with you and also the Deputy Speaker with you in the same team. It means that Nigeria is going to give you all the support that you need. Let me mention this. The issue of declaration or no declaration, I was not there in that meeting, but the rule of many parliament has it that once a quorum was formed, at the time decision was taken, the matter is decided, res judicata, it's finished with. It's finished. So let us not drag our feet on that. We have more important things to look at during this section. Let me also commend the Secretariat for the way you have tried to manage a whole lot of things. Although in your timetable, I didn't see where you shortlisted the meetings for the committees. I only saw the date, but the meeting room venues and all that, it is important that that is cleared so that if it's not done here, you can do it on the platform. If we have a WhatsApp platform, so that I know where I'm taking my finance and administration. For some of you who are not aware, I'll be chairing the finance and administration, and I'm sure that the speaker and the deputy speakers are waiting for the finance and administration to kickstart so that you can have a direction with regards to your budget. So we are here to get the work going. Finally, as a new member, I was thinking that when I was having a handshake with the Madam Speaker, that I'll be handed over the House rules so that I will be able to be well guided. So Secretariat subsequently guide the Speaker of the Parliament when he's having a handshake after inauguration. The next thing is to give us the House rule. Let us be well guided so that as it is, we'll be referring to the sections of those particular rules to enable us make adequate contribution. Let the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, let it continue. We can resolve any differences here, and the executive arm of this particular Ecowas is waiting for us to see the direction we are going, and let's give all the necessary support to make them win. Thank you very much.
What was brought before us was a report of what transpired in Kano. And if that is exactly the true position of what transpired in Kano, what is expected of this parliament is to adopt or not to adopt it. So for people to come and begin to try to rephrase and Kano declaration, no Kano declaration, I don't think that is necessary for a parliament as enlightened and matured as this. So I want to appeal to my colleagues. Yes, our rules might differ from wherever we're coming from, but there are standards. The standard is, this is what transpired in Kano. Is it the true representation of what transpired in Kano? If the answer is yes, yes, and we move on. That's my submission. Thank you very much.
Morning about this declaration and initiative. As far as the terminology is concerned, I think the procedures point out it allows the Parliament to make declarations, and maybe we have to approach the SG to make sure, because it was voted in plenary, so I don't think we have to come back and then feel ourselves, still on the same point. Now, about the rules of procedure, everything that happened, that's the report on the procedures. Is that faithful as to what happened in Kano? I think that's the issue we have to decide upon. And I think the colleagues should really see to it. If so, everything that was done in Kano are included in the procedures, and then the report has been faithful as to what happened. I think we don't need to be dancing around these two issues. We have to move forward. Thank you. And I would like to take the advantage and to really excuse ourselves. And I think the first speaker and the team on the ground did their best so that the parliament would continue to operate. So if within that thing, some slippery was made, that could be corrected, and there's a procedure to correct it. Furthermore, many have requested, especially the sort of new MPs, so that we understand how the parliament works, the texts that govern the parliament, and then the various Ecowas institutions. And it's only thereafter that when they are well armed, we can together go back to the procedures so that everybody will understand and then make any possible contributions. So let's be patient. We'll organize a seminar or a workshop, and then thereafter we will follow the procedure that we have, so that if we wish, then we can correct the rules of procedure. So if you agree with me, thank you very much. of May 2024 as adopted. So it's adopted. So it's hereby adopted.